Welcome to another episode of Systematic Geekology. This is a space where we seek to create and cultivate healthy conversations between those things we geek out on and the philosophical and theological questions that often arise out of our fandoms. Like, what does it mean to be human? What makes a hero? What makes a villain? How do the stories and narratives we geek out on shape how we live in the world? We are your priest to the geeks. We aren't all ordained, but we see ourselves as mediators at the intersection of geek culture and going deeper in our faith. We don't always have to agree, but we do respect each other, and we see everyone as a beloved child of God. Everyone geeks out on something, so come geek out with us and enjoy the show.
This show is a proud member of the Anazal Podcast Network.
What happens when you finally look beyond what you can see? We're going to be asking this question a lot more on today's episode of Systematic Geekology. We are the Priest of the Geeks. I'm your host, Christian Ashley, discussing The Lion King 1.5. And I said we because it's not just me. I'm also joined by the wonderful Alex Matthews. How's it going, Alex?
Hello, it's going good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's a fun day. I rewatched this film last night, and I'm feeling pretty good.
That's good.
So Alex, we have just gone to the drive-in to see a direct-to-DVD sequel to a Disney film somehow. What is your first reaction or the first thing you want to say after seeing this film?
What was my first reaction? It's been a long time since my first reaction, but I remember really liking it, and I thought it was really funny. I think it's up there as one of my favorite movies, honestly.
Okay. See, I rewatched it last night, and I don't know, it just wasn't as funny this time around. I don't know if I'm just older and it's not meant for me anymore, but like, it's still good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It just didn't have whatever nostalgia I had for it. And I'm still like, I'm in it to win it for this one, but it's like, oh man, I remember the jokes landing way better last time. Just might be in a different phase of life.
Maybe.
So I'm getting shocked looks of hatred, pure hatred directed my way.
It's not hatred, it's just shock and disbelief.
I know. I'm just shooting it up. Make it seem like that. No. It's genuine looks of shock. So Alex, as you're dealing with this shock, can you introduce what the movie is, why you picked it out of the list of what we had earlier, and just anything else you want to say?
Well, this movie it's Lion King 1.5. So basically it's like the story in between the first and the second movie. And from what I remember, I think it's kind of like how Pumbaa and Timon met.
There you go.
And like a little bit of their childhoods and some like BTS of what they were doing behind the scenes with the first movie. I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's basically how it is. What's the rest of your question?
So like, why did you pick this one? Like out of the list that we assembled, why this one?
Oh, because this one was my favorite out of all of them. Funny story.
Okay.
Funny story. There was one time I was studying with my roommate for exam week, and she was like, I like to put on movies on mute when I study because it helps her focus or something. I don't know. So she put on this movie in mute. Right. But I've seen this movie like plenty of times beforehand. So this is also when I first probably started discovering maybe I have ADHD, because when she put that movie on, I didn't study a thing. Instead, I just watched the entire movie in mute because I knew exactly everything they were saying.
It's always good when roommates help each other out like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, this is a very fun movie. You know, if The Lion King is Hamlet, if we're going Shakespeare, then this is definitely Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. If you've ever, done that play, it's pretty much spot on. Timon and Pumbaa fill those roles really well. It is a fun movie. I have issues. We'll get there, but like at the end of the day, like I think this was a great pick because I mean, it's it came in that time in the Disney era, as it were, of sending out direct-to-video sequels of everything. But this is like both a prequel and an interquel, which makes it even more fascinating to study because, yeah, I know those scenes from Lion King, but here we get some stories for how some of those things happen in the Lion King.
Yeah.
In the midst of, I just want to be king, like Timon knocking, what was it, one of the giraffes over or something like that, and that causes everyone to fall down, like it does in the original film. Like it's funny stuff like that brings a certain charm to this film. So, Alex, were you introduced the same way I was, back in the day when these home releases were coming out to the movie?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I think yes, we're gonna say yes.
Yeah, because we got all the different sequels to Aladdin, like Return of Jafar, King of Thieves, like Bambi 2, the Cinderella sequels, like all that time. It's one of those contested parts of like Disney history of like, is it worth making a sequel if you're not going to put it in theaters? Or is it just, some people would call it slop because it's just straight to video. I wouldn't agree necessarily, but I understand where they're kind of coming from. So this was a very experimental one that, like, kids, a lot of these jokes just aren't going to go, they're not going to understand them. And that's part of the fun too, is that Disney has always done things where adults can get things, kids can get things. So like, there's some things that I definitely missed as a kid that I can see more now. Like, I hadn't read Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead when I was a kid, but now I can appreciate that more now. So in regards to the film itself, Alex, like, what do you love? Is there anything about it you don't love?
I don't think there's anything about it that I don't love.
Okay. So it's good. Accentuate the positive. What do you love about it?
Yeah, I like that we got a backstory for Timon and Pumbaa and how they became the besties that they are, that we see. I appreciate the comedy they put in there throughout the movie. I mean, the first movie was like still kind of funny, but it was also kind of serious. This movie is more comedic, in my opinion.
Yes.
And I liked like I said before, like the things in the background that they did that affected like the main story and how we saw that in this movie too. So that's what I liked about it.
Yeah, I'm with you there with the backstory thing. Like, getting Timon's story is a lot of fun. Like, he doesn't fit in with the rest of the meerkats. He's not really like a goofball, but more like he just can't focus the same way they do. They're on the constant panic state of, oh no, we could be eaten any second now, so we're going to dig these tunnels just so we can avoid being eaten, so we can dig tunnels, as he kind of points out. And showing, like, his mother, his uncle, and this very interesting idea of like kind of making meerkats Jewish, really, in a sense, with how they talk to each other, the words that they use, a lot of Yiddish is thrown in there. I thought that because of that for years that Nathan Lane was Jewish, but I just looked it up earlier and apparently he's not. So I thought that was like an actor shout out, as it were, but no, I think it was just more like a design decision. It's like, yeah, we'll just make him Yiddish. So, sure, that works. And then Pumbaa, I wish they'd have focused a little bit more on him, but like we knew from the first film, like why, because he smells so much, that he didn't get along. So we didn't really get to see like, his family or anything like that, but maybe that would have taken too long.
Yeah.
I love how, they insert themselves into certain things, in the original film to explain, oh, this is why they're bowing. I'm not big on how that's done, but I'm big on why they do it like a film wise. Because my big thing, it's in the original film too. I don't do fart jokes. I don't do scatological humor. It just does nothing for me. So there was a lot of it in this film. And even as a kid, I was like, yeah, whatever. So I think they did it a little too much. But I will say one more thing I do really love is the confrontation scene with the hyenas at the very end, where they're trying to stall for time. And Timon is just like, proposes to, what was it, Shinzi, the female hyena, just to like buy a couple of seconds. It's like, well, obviously no. But it's one of those, I got to figure out something. I got to waste time so we can dig these tunnels underneath them. Like, yeah, like I say, this is a fun film. It's, in my opinion, a heavily flawed film. But if you get great enjoyment out of this, I would never tell you you're wrong. Right. So, Alex, we've been doing this whole thing about the faces behind us this entire time, and focusing on that a little in the drive-in as well. Like, how do you think that this plays into our yearly theme?
Well, I think because I feel like Timon and Pumbaa are like a favorite duo for many people in the Disney universe. So the fact that this movie is like basically their backstory, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think we get enough of their backstory in the original film where we don't need it there. And this is like a welcome addition. Like, yeah, you don't need to watch this movie when the original exists, but like it does enhance a little bit of where they came from, why they make the decisions. Why is Timon seeking that Hakuna Matata, that Rafiki kind of being like his stealth mentor in this film? And I love Rafiki in this film. I should have added that earlier. Like, he's just like that perfect, wise sage who's going to screw around with you and mess with you a little bit, and sometimes get you to teach yourself without him saying anything, which is pretty funny. So we get some nice things there, but like Timon, like not fitting in with this, meerkat society, wanting peace and rest and not having to worry constantly about being eaten by hyenas or any other predator. Like, so of course he seeks the perfect lush place he finds with a bunch of bugs with this newfound friend that takes a little while to get, friendly with, but, they become pals. And of course, Simba's involved, with that. So like kind of enhances how they're able to care for Simba, as, basically brothers in a sense, in that mix. I think it does a well enough job of like establishing. So, well, speaking of, like their friendship, their brotherhood, like how does this film build up that friendship between Timon and Pumbaa?
Well, because you see like throughout the movie, they're basically in a movie theater watching their memories or something. Like their backstories.
It's like a DVD commentary.
Yeah. It's because they're really talking about the first movie, but not sort of. They are, but they're filling in like little plot holes that didn't really need to be filled in. Weren't really noticeable in the first movie, but they're filling it in anyway.
It's a little meta.
Yeah. And wasn't there at one point they had like a disagreement? They had a disagreement. Right?
I think one of them left it. I can't remember what it was. And then they came back. Yeah, I think they paused the movie at one point. I remember that, so that one can go like get refreshments or something like that.
Yeah,
I just watched this last night. I should remember. But in the film itself, they do have an argument when Simba's going off to Pride Rock, and Timon's like, "I'm not leaving this behind, Hakuna Matata, man." And then eventually he has that moment of, "Oh, I'm in the wrong here. I need to go help my friends out." He races and actually gets past Pumbaa, who's been running, but like he reveals, no, actually, I was just kind of running a little slower so you could catch up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they were always going to stick as friends. Because I don't think there was any like crazy conflict for them to not be, except for that moment you just said.
Yeah, there wasn't like a big, huge conflict between. It was more like Timon not appreciating him at first and being like wanting to be a solo guy, just making his own way in the world. And Pumbaa just happened to be around him. And it was very condescending with how he talked to him. But eventually it started changing in the film of being like growing more appreciative of him. So there's not really like a massive fight between the two of them. There's little things at the start that you can see the edges are there and that it's refined over time to where they establish their Hakuna Matata together in their little paradise.
Yeah, and through it all, like Pumbaa, he like always stuck with Timon regardless of how Timon like treated him at first too.
Yes.
And then Timon eventually came around, right? Am I remembering this correctly?
Eventually, he kind of cooled down a little bit, not as hot fire tempered. Like there's one scene early on where like, Pumbaa makes nests for both of them. And there's obviously one bigger for him and a tiny one for Timon. And Timon takes the bigger one because he has more space. So Pumbaa's like forced to like be in this little tiny little nest. And yet he's fine with it because he's a positive guy, even though he should have said something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it just movie built like a better understanding between the two.
Yes.
With that friendship.
Helps us go. It had a rocky start, but they made it work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you had one guy who didn't want anyone at all, and one guy, all he wants is to be around people, and he can't because of who and what he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, later on, Simba too, with like thinking that he killed his dad and wanting to fit in again, finding, a new family, as it were, with two older brothers. Right. So I think one of the things, from what I remember last night, one of the themes of the film is kind of like how about people who have a hard time fitting in, how we can find ways to like fit into other places where we don't belong here, but maybe we belong here. So like, what do you remember about what it had to say about people who are having difficulty in like fitting in to where they are, where they want to be?
I may not be remembering this correctly, but I'm pretty sure like at some point, well, obviously we see in the first movie that Pumbaa eventually accepted himself for who he was. with like his gas and everything. And was just proud about it. We see that in the first movie. So I think in this film, because it's been a long time since I last seen it, but Timon basically helped him like overcome that, right? Overcome him not fitting in.
Yeah, that's part of it, because like they essentially become a found family.
Yeah.
In that sense, Pumbaa like not fitting in because of the way he smells, of how terrible it is. Like no one wants to be around him. Like, and it's something he can't control because it's just part of his anatomy. I'm sure there are people that in multiple ways that could factor into. Like, obviously, this is more fantastical. And of course, Timon himself does not fit into his meerkat society because this is what we're all about. I mean, I was just at the Chicago Zoo not terribly long ago with my niece. And they had a little meerkat den up there, and you could see like, obviously they're way safer there than they would be out in the wild, but they're still on the alert. They're looking out. They're making sure that nothing bad can happen because they know what can happen if they don't. They can get eaten. And Timon is like, I don't want the stress of all that. Like, is this what life is? Just like going around and like digging holes just so we can avoid being eaten? Like, I'm not about that. Let me find, my place where I can get that Hakuna Matata, my no worries. So that means leaving behind the place everyone else was fitting into him.
Yeah.
It's not really focused on too much, but, Simba too, trying to find a new place after like he had a structure, like he was the next guy in charge. And now suddenly that's all taken away from him. And obviously the original film does it way better because he's the main character, but we get enough of it here to where we see a little bit of how that could make him into who he's going to be.
Yeah.
All right. So a final question for our main discussion here. Alex, where do you find your Hakuna Matata? Where do you get to the no worries stage in your life?
Finding my Hakuna Matata. No worries stage in life. I think that's something that I'm constantly trying to find. Like I'll find it and then I'll walk away and I gotta come back and find it. I don't think it's something that you gotta act.
It's not constant.
Yeah. Yeah. But when I do find the Hakuna Matata, I'm kind of just like, I'm by myself crocheting a stuffed animal with YouTube on, like some funny YouTube video or a deep discussion thing with the hot button topic. And that's just my Hakuna Matata. Or another one would be I'm traveling and I'm away from home and I'm doing exploring elsewhere. Hakuna Matata.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. It fluctuates. It's not like I can go here and immediately every pressure is relieved and the weight is off my shoulder and I can just relax. Like it doesn't exist. Especially, in this time of transition where I'm still trying to find a pastoral job somewhere. Right? That is no fun, being in that in between, but I do find it occasionally, when I am reading, when I can shut everything else and have some music on because I need two things going on at once because my biochemistry sucks. Be perfectly honest. Like other people, they can just have one thing and that's it. Me, I need like two or three.
Yeah.
So my rest is going to look way different than other people's rest. Like I remember in college all the way back, like I had to have the TV on at night in order to sleep. And I had two roommates at that time and they didn't like it. And I felt really bad, but like we had to like work out, okay, you can listen to this much and this and that because I was disturbing their rest, and finding the balance between all that roommate learning that is a really difficult way, but you got to do it in order to get through. But I do like right now, like honestly, not the Jesus juke or anyone or anything, but I've found rest working with youth at our church, and our youth pastor has given me multiple opportunities to preach. And like, there's always that setup right before, like, I'm not good enough. They're not going to listen to a thing I say. Like that imposter syndrome kind of nonsense that gets in everyone's head. But then when I start, it's over. It's like I'm in the flow. I feel good. I know that I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to do. And I find immense rest, even in the midst of something that is work.
Yeah. I think I'm the same way too. Now that I'm thinking about it, I was just volunteering at a church camp last week and I felt so much Hakuna Matata. Like, when I tell people, because there's a camp full of middle schoolers, and I tell people that, they're like, oh my gosh, I must have been so-stressed. And I was like, no, it was actually really fun. Like, I was in the zone. I don't know if it's me being an extrovert too, but like that, because I also found a balance of like moments, like quote unquote chaos, but also moments of like quiet too, where I was able to sit outside under a tree with my Bible, just reading. Or like when I was with the kids, we were like playing dodgeball. I was teaching them line dances. And I was just, that was also Hakuna Matata the whole week. There was not a single moment of like stress or anything. So yeah, I definitely relate with you on that.
I also just got back from a youth camp in the middle of the hot in Tennessee. And it was a blast. It was also extremely stressful. Like, it's one of those paradoxical things of like, this is causing me stress, but at the same time, I feel so good about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I feel comfort in that. It's like having students come up to me and like trust me enough to talk about what's going on in their lives, and like knowing that I care about what they have to say and that I'm going to be a safe person they can be with means the absolute world to me.
Oh yeah. I
Like,
definitely agree.
Like 2 nights ago, I was yelling at you because you were past curfew, or you weren't where you were supposed to be, or something like that. And yet, right here and now, like we're having a conversation that also matters in a different way. Like, love it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's great.
Right. So, anything else to say about the Lion King 1.5?
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata. Right. How are you scoring this out of 10?
Oh, I would give this a 10. It's one of my faves.
Okay.
So I would get a 10.
Right. Here's where the fellowship ends. I'm giving this a 6. Like, this is solid. Like, I definitely enjoyed rewatching it last night, but I guess I'm just a different man than when I was a kid when this first came out.
Wow. And, that's fair.
Like,
that's fair. As we grow up, I think our sense of humor will change with that. So that's fair.
Right. So, Alex, question we've been asking at the end here is, so what kind of flavored tea or lemonade would we bring to the drive-in?
Ooh, lemonade, peach.
Peach lemonade.
Peach lemonade. Tea, ginger or mint.
Ginger tea, okay. Yeah, my answer remains unchanged. Much like my tea, all you do is you put a lot of sugar in there, as God intended, and that's all you need. No different flavors, no nothing. You give me a cold iced tea, iced sweet tea. That's everything. Call me vanilla without putting vanilla in there. I don't care.
And that's okay.
You know what? Thank you. All right, guys, thank you for all that you do, for helping us out in this drive-in series. Listen to every episode we have. Please, if you get a chance, leave a 5-star review in your podcasting platform of choice. Also, with the ratings here, help us find more people. Feel free to head over to our YouTube page and head to our videos there. We've also got a fourth wall where we do all of our special content there, bonus questions, extra episodes. If you want to throw support our way, that'd be really great. You can also suggest future episode topics ideas by sending suggestions to systematicgeekology@gmail.com. I'd like to shout out some supporters real quick. Thank you very much to Aaron Hardy, Daniel Sigmund, Trip Fuller, and James Barrett. But remember, we're all a chosen people, a geekdom of priests. Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata.
Hey, podcast fam. Want to stay even more connected with the show? We've got you covered. Check us out on Instagram and Blue Sky, where we're posting exclusive content and bonus videos and fun updates that you won't get anywhere else. From sneak previews of upcoming episodes to bonus content, our social accounts are the best way to keep the conversation going. Plus, it's a great spot for you to interact with other listeners and share your thoughts. We love hearing from you. When you follow us, it helps us grow and continue bringing you the content that you love. Whether it's a funny poll, a quick clip from today's episodes, or just random thoughts, you'll feel more plugged into everything we're doing. So go ahead and hit that follow button on Instagram and Blue Sky. It's one more way to be a part of the show and keep the good vibes flowing. Thanks for being a part of the family, and we can't wait to see you there.
Hello, friends. This is Andy Walsh. Thanks for listening. If you're going to be a systematic geek about this podcast, you need to know that it's part of the Anado Podcast Network. Other shows in the network include the Whole Church Podcast, where Joshua Knoll and TJ Blackwell have spent over 7 years now in pursuit of church unity through education and conversations with leaders across traditions. 7 years, that's a podcast that has lost some baby teeth. My Seminary Life with Brandon Knight, where he began discussing what he learned as a seminary student and is now learning with the listeners in a continuing lifelong education. The Bible After Hours with the Foul-Mouthed Preacher, where he critically examines the modern church through satire, then provides a more progressive reading of Scripture. And The Homily with Pastor Chill Will from Chapel Hill, where Will Rose's homilies are periodically updated and made available through the podcast, always reminding us that we are loved with a love deeper than words. Thanks again for listening, and remember, if you're going to geek, do it systematically.